I could not be here breathing and be comfortable. I could not be here breathing and be comfortable if I was really as bad as they was making it. You know, nobody could be around me. So for me to be this calm, I must have some kind of inner peace. And my inner peace is knowing that once everybody take the time to really see what type of person I am, you'd be surprised that I stuck around this long. I have to make the life that I do live as happy as I can and try to do the best with what I have. You know, live the best life I can live, be as happy as I can be. Nothing is perfect for anybody. I don't know.
Boys, I swear, I think I figured it out. You know why they don't want us redneck brothers and sisters and the hood brothers and sisters getting along? You know why? Because we'd be unstoppable. I'm telling you right now, we would shut shit down.
Yes, we will. Hey, let me get myself on the screen. I'm looking dingy, guys. It was too much. So I had to put the hat on. I had to switch up a little bit. I'm going to try to do a reaction to Lori Lightfoot response. I know this is anticipated from some individuals because I have stated that I don't totally have full confidence in the report, but I do know that allegedly, as said by one of the trustees, keep your eyes open. Lori Lightfoot has a lot to offer. The Pacific quote was, you know the Puffy situation, huh? And nobody believed it or thought it was true because they was questioning because everybody's just talking until the videos came out. He said it's going to be that good. So I was like, oh, okay, shut me up. One thing I'm going to tell you guys, when I know I'm wrong or God tell me I'm wrong, because y'all, you know, that's my whole thing, I will admit it. Now, I do believe, and I hope she prove me wrong, that what she brings to the forefront, it can actually be used to prosecute her. Could it be brought to the right people for her to be prosecuted? So as I mentioned, and it's going to be going on live in a few, you know, the investigation in my perspective was just like a private eye, but she has more clout, more criteria, and definitely more resources. Okay. So I had to keep that in mind. But prosecution wise, we know that we still have to keep moving forward, wait to the FBI give us an update. We haven't heard nothing from, I think that was the May 20th hearing that I did a whole birthday thing to Henyard. Okay. On that particular day, we're still waiting to hear, you know, did she bring in the reports that they were asking for and the information? Okay. Right now, it looks like it's not on yet, but when it's on, we're going to stream. This is fair use. Let me put it on right now because, you know, I'm not going to be messy, but it is fair use. Let me put my thing up there. Fair use. I actually want to be proven wrong because that will give me some hope. Because obviously, y'all see, I'm a pessimistic person in this system. Where my fair use thing at? Joey's was. Oh, there you go. Fair use, and I am. And that doesn't mean that I don't think things could get done, but I definitely ask those pertinent questions to the how, when, and why. So that makes people uncomfortable. But we're gonna still do it. So I'm ready to concede. Who ready for me to concede and say you was wrong, Grace? Hit the like. Be like, you wrong, Grace. I don't like you, Grace. You messy, Grace. Whatever. From my background, y'all already see. It is what it is. And I do say this. If I offend anybody and I hurt anybody, I apologize. And that's honestly. But I'm never going to concede to my truth. I have a different moral system. I have a different value system from everybody. And I understand that there are channels and things that need to be done a certain way, allegedly. And me being a person that have went to a lot of channels and did things the right way and things did not pan out, I have learned that grassroots works. So that's why you see me approach more grassroots. And I become politically incorrect to many individuals. I'm a tough cookie to crumble, and I accept that. But that's my foundation, and I just want to tell y'all that it's literally I'm watching, waiting for this to come on. It ain't come on yet. My bloodline, what we have went through in Haiti, and I put videos up there that it's hard to believe in the system. It's hard to believe in the government. We pay the taxes, they use us, they hold resources. It's out there in blatant. But what I see here is not out there in blatant. And people like this buckethead, let me put her on the screen. Let me put sister, let me put her on the screen. Put her on a glass. This buckethead can say things politically correct, hide stuff, obscure timelines, situations, and people fall for it. The reason why the trustees are doing what they're doing is the same reason why I feel like I do what I do. There comes a time where you see the system in front of you and the way people view the system so blindly that the people are being ate up. I from different aspects of my life, not just here. So it comes to a point that you write letters, you talk to people, and that's just outside of what we're talking about and why the trustees are doing it and putting it out there in the open, being disregarded by Henyard, gaslighted by Henyard, manipulated in front of the people by Henyard. They took her to task almost every single meeting, at least for the last 2 years. And I think because they got to the point of they were sick and tired of being sick and tired of the system, of how corrupt it was, how people was not seeing it. And they're going to politically correct way, trying to get in contact with them, doing FIO, Freedom of Information requests. Nothing being like all the routes they've been taking was not doing anything till unconventional things started happening. Okay. And I do acknowledge, and we're still waiting for them to start. We late because we'll start at 7:15. I do acknowledge the unconventionalness from this situation that made it blow up was the person involved in the commentary, the last video. Okay. So I acknowledge that from the beginning, but at the end of the day, when it comes to, like you said, that was important. It was the blow up. It was it was the people taking it in their own hands, right now. It was the people who were like doing content, just taking a movement, putting it there, and the news looking at it. It's plenty of content creators who have 15,000, 20,000 people, and they've been pushing this out for a long time. It took grassroots of everybody. So I think I was just sick and tired of the agenda and the gaslighting. So I'm gonna leave that. We're gonna be the last time I talk about that. You guys who have seen the live, I don't regret you seeing the live. I hope you've seen the live. You do your thing. Still waiting for this meeting to start. But the live is private because I have respect for my sisters. And I'm going to leave it like that. I don't regret nothing I have said or done because I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of the system, of people gaslighting, and that's not him. That's in my career. That is people out in the street, even family, just bad behaviors, being overlooked. Oh, that this maybe was just a buildup, like I said, the post-traumatic stress. I talked to y'all earlier about where that came from. And I don't find no fault because everybody is perfect in who they are. And I kept telling you, go see everybody, talk to everybody. And I know that people need a wake-up call. As what I know, this is a time of exposure. And all the whistleblowers been coming out whistleblowing. And maybe you thought the people think they haters, because you don't agree with their narrative. They said a lot of things like that before big things got revealed. People are not evil. I stated that everybody can change, but like I said, yup, and that's it. Hurry up, so I don't have to keep talking up here. I'm trying to see if they go live. Catch me if you can. They're not live yet. People still inside the chat. I'm gonna look at y'all comments. Nope. Keep it real. Real knows real. It was started when somebody says Beetlejuice 3 times. Shut up. It is. This is the time of exposure. If it wasn't, half of the stuff won't even be out. The X trafficking, the drug issue. It takes people to whistleblow, to say the unconventional, to stand out the crowd and say what it is. People be mad until later. And, like I said, everybody has time to change and repent, especially in God's eyes. I can't say that. That's why I don't hold no grudges. I've been put to the dirt. Like, I've been called all the names. That's why when people say names and stuff, it didn't move me. You don't know. Guns to my head and I made it. I'm a whole different breed. That's probably why I'm not politically correct. Because I know the Most High is not politically correct. He do things unconventionally. He make miracles happen. He bust a move and they'd be like, boom. I guess that's how I try to mimic myself, but I can't do that all the time. Because what I do affect other people. It is what it is. So, yep. Done that at work too. Come on, y'all. Ask some questions. Something nice. We still waiting for the thing. I'm gonna put it on the screen when I can share the full screen because I don't want them to see where I'm actually getting streaming from because they may block my page again. You know what I'm saying? Freedom of speech. But I do want Lori Lightfoot to prove me wrong. Did I put a better picture of her? I'm trolling. I got a better picture of her. Y'all remember? I'm trolling. I'm trolling. I got a better picture of Lori Lightfoot because the other picture was like, there we go. There we go. Okay. That's why people like, it's why I don't like her. She was doing some BS. Maybe the picture and stuff was for shock value. Yeah, I gotta understand the stuff that I talk about is heavy. So I have to find funniness in it. You know what I'm saying? And to make people uncomfortable. And then people don't like the words I use, like I ain't beat. They don't like that. These are Newark words. Broad. They be mad at that. I mean, look at this broad. Like we have to see, like, look at her. She acting the hell up. Like they like, oh, you called me a broad. Those things, I think I come from a different culture. Like, yo, somebody they're gonna tap that ass. I didn't in the aspect of you knowing the person. That's just like mom coming to say, Mommy gonna get on that ass. It's not, I'm gonna beat you, I'm gonna hit you. Related to the context, that was the words we use. We use those type of words. I'm different. Y'all don't meet a lot of people from Newark. Not a lot of us make it to have big platforms, and then when we do, they hear these different words and slang, like bobblehead. We going to trash her. She should be trashed. They like what? Yeah, throw Henyard in the trash, like she trashing them. These type of things, and they try to take your words and spin it. I won't let you. I won't let you. Until the only way the system is going to change is if we literally tear this motherfucker up and rebuild it. If y'all think that all of that politically correct shit is good, perpetrating the fraud is good, it's not always good to televise shit. It did hit bad, but I do believe God did that for a reason because everything has been televised before. And it's just time for everybody to be sincere. I don't care what y'all say. Y'all know I'm sincere. I don't care. I'm not. I'll ride even if I see him in the hospital, or anything. Like, let me get you together. I'm out. I'm not gonna hate you, and we're gonna have that conflict of interest and talk. You're gonna see why you're wrong. I'm gonna see where I'm wrong. I'm wrong, and I admitted to them that it came out in a public platform. That's what I admit to. Because I know those sisters don't move like that. That is not them. That is me. I take responsibility for that. That wasn't right. But what I said, everything that was put out there should have been, because maybe a little bit more pressure. Is this shit on? Come on. Where's the report? Hold on. Did they block? I'm not blocked. I'm still here. Like, come on. Where's the report? I'm over here. Just talk. Okay. Maybe the pressure of that will make people truly repent. Because when you truly repent, you have to do it amongst everything, body and yourself and God, especially if it affect them. Maybe people don't feel like I need to repent. I told you what I repent for. Coming out, putting it out, and there's nothing else I could repent. I didn't lie. I didn't make up nothing. So whatever. I don't know. But my platform not gonna stop. Y'all did see I dropped a video. I forgot what video it was. I was so emotionally wrapped up. Yes. She emotional. Yes. I'm human. What's on the hat? Is it my red truck with flowers? You know what I'm saying? I'm out there. I'm about to give Lori Lightfoot her flowers, and this video is unavailable. Oh, yeah. Hold on, guys. That's the block page. Block. All right, let's go. Let me see where my history at. Hold on. I just switched my page, y'all. Of course, it started. Hold on, let me get myself together. Let me clear my throat. Let me see something. Let me see, Lori Lightfoot. Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. That's just because I was talking. Live. Don't worry, I was talking. Let's go. Hold on. Who's streaming it again? I forgot. There we go. Oh boy. I had to get it together, y'all.
Desmond, people are wondering how you watch
me.
I want you to trust your trustees that we are working for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Trustee Norwood.
Mayor Pro Tem, may I be recognized?
Thank you for your patience.
I think it is yes. Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. I would just first like to say that I am so happy to see everyone. You all know what they say, a family that stays together, a family that prays together, stays together, okay? So I'd also like to just thank our residents, right? 2 Dalton residents. We know that these last 3 years have been a little difficult for us, right? We've had to make a lot of tough decisions regarding the town as a board. And I thank you all for trusting us, believing in us in the process, and knowing that we have a plan. We have a plan. I think that these last 3 years have made us stronger than ever before. I just want you all to know that I love you guys, and tonight is a good night.
One last thing, Mayor Pro Tem. We definitely want to thank Mayor Lightfoot for taking on, when I tell you, this devastating task. We thank her for taking on this task and helping not only the trustees, but also the residents. Thank you, Mayor Lightfoot.
Let's go. No
A
blockiana.
few other acknowledgements. I want to make sure that we would be, partnership has been critical for the Board of Trustees and the village as well. Dalton Park District has been a tremendous partner to us, so I want to make sure we give the space and having the meeting rooms when we've been locked out of our own Village Hall taxpayer dollars. So we want to give a round of applause to Commissioner Sandra Wells is there. I saw Commissioner Gail Towers. I know Commissioner Willis Harris is pretty close, as well as our president, Cleo Jones. Want to give them a round of applause. I don't know if I missed Commissioner Rochelle if he's present, but thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. This partnership means everything to the community and is part of the way that we move forward. So we want to give that acknowledgement. Further acknowledgement to the hard-fighting Dalton firefighters who come and who show up every day for us through we want to know the community loves you, and we appreciate everything that you're doing, and we are working hard to get you guys made whole and made correct. I will have a few other comments about the report to preface the report, and some of the things we did make sure that it was an independent report. So the board was kind of given some kind of snippets ahead of time, but we wanted to also maintain the integrity of independence. So there are some things we'll be seeing for the first time, some things we've had kind of a heads up to, but it's given us some direction. So I'll preface some more comments. At Monday's board meeting, there were also some actions voted on by the Board of Trustees that have left confusion or ambiguity because the board has voted to begin some layoffs for budgetary reasons, and all of those have not been implemented at this time, or they're in various phases. So we are working with our attorneys. So I asked if Attorney McGrath can kind of also give an update to the community on what's going on there.
All right, let's hear it, baby. What you got going on around there?
I thank you, trustee. A couple of updates since the meeting on Monday night, which a lot of items were brought out, specifically the village's finances and why we're here tonight to go into more detail. But the board has decided to implement a hiring freeze. It was not able to be put on this agenda in time, but they want to know that, let the residents know that there's going to be a hiring freeze, that the village is just not able to hire any more employees in any department. There was some layoffs, and there's most likely going to be more layoffs, unfortunately, in the future. Since Monday's meeting, there's also been a number of instances of harassment in the workplace, threats to employees and elected officials. I have advised all staff and employees to document those incidents, and we are going to forward them to the Cook County Sheriff's Police Department, who by ordinance is the Inspector General for the Village of Dalton, and they will have the stronger arm to take action in regards to workplace harassment, retaliation, political work happening in the workplace, those kind of things. The ordinance, you can get a copy of it. It was passed about 10 years ago, but the clerk can get a copy and post it. And I think it'd be a good idea to let everyone know what the sheriff is authorized to look into, and it's a lot of it. Once again, based on the board's directive, different individuals aren't following the board's directive. There was a deputy chief that was placed on administrative leave. He disregarded that and showed up the very next day. He then received a notice that he was terminated, and he
Oh, I'm missing my book. This leg, there you go. The man right there.
Despite being notified that he was terminated and in discussion with the Fraternal Order of Police, the FOP, he again showed up today. Once again, the mayor has changed the locks at the Village Hall. Everyone recall how orderly and how nice it was to walk into the village board meeting on Monday night when the Madam Clerk and the trustees had key fobs to get into the village. Once again, this is about the third time that she has changed the locks, so the elected officials do not have access and cannot get into the Village Hall, which belongs to the people. I got a call from an attorney this afternoon who unfortunately says I have a couple lawsuits that I have to file against the village.
Oh my God.
It's been pending in court, and I can't serve the village because I can't get to the clerk because the doors to the Village Hall are locked. So it's causing some real issues, and federal judges are aware of what's going on. But the locks have changed. Emails were shut off, and I had heard that Mr. Lacey and others have brought in their own IT person in an effort to gain access to their emails that were shut down. I don't know the status of that, but there's a lot of stuff that happens really, really quick. Things happen every day. You just cannot believe what's going on with this administration. But we're doing our best. These board members are doing their best. Ms. Lightfoot has a very good presentation for everyone, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions after, but I think we can move on from there.
I see. I'm taking notes, y'all.
Okay, thank you for that update, Attorney McGrath. So that, having said that, we're going to move to the next item on the agenda. We have a few, I think I would say, quicker points that we need to vote through, and then we'll go into the presentation, but I don't think that should take extremely long. I think we've all had the opportunity to vet these items. So I'll turn over to Village Clerk Allison Key.
Again, most of you guys know that my minutes are never put on the agenda for the regular board meeting, so I have to get them approved here. So I'll quickly go through the minutes, dates, and ask for the board's approval. So I'm asking for approval for minutes for May 6th, May 13th, June 3rd, and July 1st. I'm asking that the board would approve the 4-minute dates for minutes.
So moved.
Okay, Trustee Norwood.
Aye.
Trustee Tammy Brown.
Aye.
Trustee House.
Aye.
Trustee Belcher.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Okay, next we have nothing under old business. For new business, we put on here, we are still in, this is still a work in progress, but it will be one of the things we are working towards to move the village forward as one of our solutions. We are going to be reassigning the board committees so that we can reinstitute the finance committee, police and fire, personnel committee, housing committees. So that will be forthcoming on an upcoming agenda. We're still kind of identifying, I think we have the chairs identified, but we want to make sure that we round it out with good talent. So that will be coming on an upcoming agenda. Item B, we put out an RFP for review for bids on a new towing company or new towing contract. Want to highlight that we did it in the RFP format, so that way we can make sure we get the best bang for our buck. We made sure that there are 2 current tow companies that received the notification, as well as the notification being placed in the public newspaper, the Chicago Tribune. And at this moment, is my understanding, we have received 1 bid in for that contract. So we will I will be asking for a motion to approve that bid. I don't know, did you have anything actually you wanted to add? Okay, the towing contract is with ENR Tow. So I'm gonna I'll make a motion that we accept the bid from ENR Tow Company to move forward with this contract, and I'll ask for a second, please.
That's how you're supposed to do it.
Okay, here a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, Trustee Belcher.
Just for discussion, I know that you just stated there are two companies right now that are doing the tow. I know in 2021, when we first got in, we approved one. Speaking to that company, they stated, and I'm waiting on a copy of the contract, that their contract is to 2026. So moving forward, even with a vote on this new one, will they still be towing for the village because we have a current contract?
It's a long time.
So this proposal would be for them to be the second company while we review their contract. I will say the reason for this RFP going out are numerous complaints that we were receiving on various pricing being done for individuals being told. People being told for one day at 500, 700, and fluctuating rates. My concern being that they are violating their contract, is not benefiting the residents of Dalton. And we wanted to make sure that, we want to make sure that we have consistency in the towing fee, and we have a company that's willing to work with the administration as well, and most importantly with the residents. I did highlight or note in the bid that was given, it was a fee for the first day of $225 $25 going back to the residents of the village of Dalton for each tow that's gone in there, and they've promised to be good community partners. Additionally, they have a tow contract with the city of Chicago, so they are a very large and reputable company. But to answer your question, because I did kind of ramble a lot of things off there, but I just felt triggered, something came through me. The reason was because of contract disagreements. At this moment, it will be 2 companies, but as we review their contract, it may go down to 1.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that on record, because we don't want any pending litigation until we find out exactly what's going on, that they will remain in rotation until we move further. That's all. Thank you.
So noted. Any additional comments?
I respect
And,
it.
I'm sorry, that's just for the tow company that we approved in 2021, because although we found out that there are 2 tow companies, we only approved 1.
Correct. Okay. Any additional comments? Hearing none, I'll ask Clerk Key for a roll call, please.
Trustee Norwood,
Trust.
trustee Tammy Brown,
Aye.
trustee House, trustee Belcher.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Okay, I'm gonna switch the order around quickly I'm gonna take D before C. Item D is an ordinance. I want to make sure I get the terminology.
Come on. I'm getting
I
excited.
got it. Do we have a number on there already? 24-008, an ordinance amending the village code to add the requirement of 2 signatures on check to allow the mayor pro tem the authority to sign documents. This motion is put in place. The current ordinance has 2 signers on our bank account, the mayor and the clerk, which is the rightful way. We have challenged that before and had other court proceedings. This ordinance would allow for if the mayor refuses to do her fiduciary duty to sign checks that the board have approved, it makes sure that the mayor pro tem can sign in her absence. Again, only in the absence or refusal, because we are recognizing that many cases a refusal to sign, which are delaying many projects similar to this park district and other items. So we've been able to utilize this mechanism to make sure village business continues and goes forward in the proper manner. So and this is a procedural thing that we need as we have been in communication with the bank, because at this moment, we only have, the clerk is the only person that will be authorized, which is if the mayor refuses to sign. So this gives us the mechanism needed for the bank to authorize these signatures as well. So that's the reason for this. I motion that ordinance 24-008 be approved, and I'll ask for a second. Hearing a motion and second, any discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Key, roll call, please.
Trustee Norwood,
Aye.
trustee Tammy Brown,
Aye.
trustee House, trustee Belcher. Motion passed.
Okay, and then we're going to cycle back to item C, which is the presentation and preliminary findings from former Mayor Lightfoot. I have a couple of comments. I don't know if any board members had comments too before I segue to Mayor Lightfoot.
I'm excited. From this. No.
So this process started and the request started because for, I would say at least up to a year, our administration, and more importantly, the residents have not had the opportunity to know what's going on financially with the records in our town. We've also looked at the investigation into what happened in Vegas, and we were not able to get answers. While we are aware that there are FBI subpoenas and a probable FBI investigation, we feel and felt the need for some answers that the community deserves, that this board deserves, and that in order for us to be on solid footing to make a plan. From the pieces that I've seen, it mirrors exactly what we knew, is that we are in a dire financial position. That is something that I think as the numbers come can be extremely frustrating to the residents of this community. And we want to make sure that we are recognizing where we are and using this as a jumping point to where we can to get back where we need to be and to thriving. So we want to make sure that everybody's taking in the information. We deserve to know this information. Want to echo the sentiments of Trustee Tammy Brown and saying thank you for all of the hours and all of the hard work. not too many hours, we put a cap on it. But I want to say thank you for all of the hard work that has been put into this. We noted this as a preliminary report, but we felt it very urgent that we share the findings because we made promises to do this in a transparent manner with the community. So there still are some stages to go. I'm sure Mayor Lightfoot will talk about some of the hurdles and obstacles. And as a board, after the board has questions, the board will be present to answer what our next steps are. But without further ado, I want to turn over to Mayor Lightfoot.
PowerPoint, I'm gonna make myself small.
Can you all hear me just fine, and particularly the folks in the back of the room?
We need to see this.
All right. First and foremost, I want to just emphasize a couple points that Trustee House and others have made. First of all, thank you to the trustees, to Madam Clerk, to Mike McGrath and Bert Odelson. This has been a challenging investigation, to say the least, because we have not received the level of cooperation from the mayor and her team that I would have hoped. Nonetheless, we've had, I think, a breakthrough that's allowed us to be here in front of you today to give you the information that I know that the trustees for sure and the members of the public have been seeking for some time. But I do want to emphasize this is just preliminary. We have more work to do, but as Trustee House said, we believe that it was very important to come before the members of the public so you would have some context for what the current state of your finances are as city government. As has been alluded to, I think there's going to have to be some tough decisions that are made, but you've got to make that with as complete a set of information as possible. And that's what this presentation is intended to do. Our work is ongoing, and we expect to finish with in expedited fashion. But as I said, we wanted to get to you as quickly as possible. A couple of points, just so we're all. I'm not an accountant, and I suspect many of you in the room are not. But we will be covering some accounting terms, and wanted to just make sure that everybody had the same basic level of understanding as we go through these slides. We're going to talk about how the Village of Dalton handles its accounting system. We'll talk about in length and detail about the preliminary assessment of the financial status. We're going to go over what we've seen as increasing expenditures since 2021, unfunded expenditures, the current cash status, credit card use. Then we'll do a summary, and then we'll entertain questions from the trustees.
PowerPoint. Put it on the screen.
So let me just jump right into it. Many of you know that the village, in the same manner as other municipalities in the state, accounts for its finances using what's called fund accounting. That means, that's just a fancy word of saying the expenses and the revenues are divided up into specific buckets of dollars, and those funds are what we're going to be talking about. The village maintains three categories of fund: a general governmental fund, the proprietary fund, and a fiduciary fund. All right. Under each category, actually, I'm going to pass it to my colleague, Amanda, who will go into more detail about these different funds. Go ahead, Amanda. Sorry about that.
So within each category, within each category of funds, there are underlying funds that are used to account for resources that are for different purposes. The first category, governmental funds, includes the general fund, which is going to be the focus of our presentation this evening. And the general fund is what's used to account for the day-to-day operations of the village. Additionally, there are what are known as special revenue funds. These are specific funds for specific purposes. This includes the motor fuel tax and TIF money. The final governmental fund is debt service funds, where the village's debt obligations are accounted for, which is primarily the public bond debt. The final two categories of funds, which we will not be covering today, are proprietary funds, which account for transactions that are more business in nature, operations that should be funded by customer payments. That's the water fund, the sewer fund, and the fitness center.
Okay.
And the final are fiduciary funds, which are held for non-governmental parties, and that is the village's pension trust funds.
What?
So let's jump into the specifics.
Yeah.
Many of you know that the village's fiscal year runs from May 1 to April 30th. So it's those 12 months, but they spanned 2 years. Certain financial disclosures are mandated under state law that the village reports to the comptroller of the state each fiscal year. Two documents that we're going to talk specifically about are the annual financial report, and you see the citation there, it's a state law, and the audited financial statements. The village has not, and let me repeat that, the village has not complied with these statutory requirements since fiscal year 2021.
Nope.
There's no annual financial report available after 2021 and no audited financial statements after 2021. So what that means is the information that we're providing you has not been thoroughly audited by a CPA, but we do have information coming from an entity that essentially serves as the finance department of the village. Historically, from what we can tell, the village has had small or no full-time financial staff. At various times, even though statutorily there's a provision for a city treasurer, none exists and hasn't for some time. There's a provision for a finance director. There's been intermittent people that have served that role, but that role has been vacant as of May of this year. And before that, the person who held the role started working part-time as of the end of December in 2023. So as you can see, given the lean or no financial staff, there's a lot of dependence upon the John Kasparic accounting firm, which has functionally operated as the village's finance department for some time. What we have examined are monthly financial reports from January of 2021 to May of 2024, produced by the Kasparic firm. And as I mentioned, due to the village's failure to conduct an audited financial statement, we have to caveat the accuracy of the information, but we feel fairly confident based upon lining out not only the monthly reports, but looking at bank statements that match up with the information that's in the financial reports. And we've had the opportunity to talk to some of the folks at the Kasparic firm who are responsible for managing the finances of the village, and that work is ongoing. As of May 30th of this year, the village's general fund was in a net deficit position, meaning that there is insufficient funds in that general fund. As we mentioned, the general fund is used to account for the majority of the village's day-to-day operations, including payroll and vendor payments. The village's special revenue fund and debt service fund, however, are in a positive position, but each of those funds are restricted funds, meaning you cannot borrow from one to give to the other. And that is what's causing, in part, the financial crisis. What's next you can see is a graphic that depicts where we started as of April, where the village started as of April of 22, with positive of $5.6 million in the general fund, and where we are as of May of 2024, which is a negative $3.65 million.
Mayor Lightfoot, if I may.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Just kind of as a summary now, just quick numbers. So in a 2-year span, We're talking about a $9 million swing or $9 million of deficit over that course of time. Would that be
Yes,
close
sir.
accurate?
Yes, sir.
Yep. All right, turning now to the increasing expenditures of the village. Over the last 3 fiscal years, the average monthly expenditures of the village have increased by nearly 30%. As you can see in the graphic, in fiscal year 2022, on average, the village spent about $1.9 million a month.
Jesus.
But in the last fiscal year, that amount had climbed to $2.5 million. These increasing expenditures have not been accompanied by corresponding increases in revenue. Again, as you see in the graph on the blue bars, the revenues have remained relatively the same over that time period, around just over $24 million, while expenditures have climbed from $23 million in 2022 to $30 million in 2024. Ultimately, in fiscal years 2023 and 2024, expenditures exceeded revenue. Specifically in 2024, it was over $5 million more in expenditures than revenues. To look further at the increasing expenditures, the table on the screen highlights the 2 village departments that are the main drivers of this spending increase: the General Administration and Administrative Compensation Department and the Police Department.
We're gonna go over these PowerPoints after this, y'all. Y'all know I'm getting this right. We're gonna go over this in detail.
Turning first to the General Administration Department. Turning first to the General Administration line, the increase in expenditures here has grown about approximately 47%. This was around $6.4 million in fiscal year 2022, and it was $9.4 million in fiscal year 2024.
What the fuck is she buying?
There have been increases in general administration spending in nearly every area, but there are a handful that stick out the most. As you can see on the first line, the largest driver of this increase is a more than double change in liability insurance cost. It's gone from 1.2 million in fiscal year 2022 to 3.2 million in fiscal year 2024.
Because it is.
Other areas where we see large increases are miscellaneous expenditures, settlements, legal fees, and telephone.
Because of that.
Let me just add regarding the legal fees. These are, everything that we're representing to you tonight are things that have been booked in one of the general ledgers or otherwise. We know that the legal fees that have been booked so far are underestimated because there are a number of legal fees that have yet to be paid. And obviously with the litigation that's been filed, particularly by vendors who have not been paid, those legal fees will definitely are. This is a very conservative estimate of what those fees actually are.
God. She said this shit conservative.
Let me drill a little bit down also in what we're seeing so far with the police department. Those expenditures have increased approximately 21% since FY22. Some of that is obviously driven by the union contracts and making sure that there's retro pay and that the police officers are compensated according to the collective bargaining agreement. Within the police department expenditures, categories with large increases include overtime, other miscellaneous expenses, and I will tell you, we don't know exactly what that is, but we're working on unpacking that, contractual services, other professional services, and medical insurance.
Wow.
We wanted to highlight for you, particularly given overtime, what we saw as 2 outliers in officers, Officer Terry Young and Officer William Reed. Both of these individuals in the last 2 years have earned more in overtime than their base compensation.
Terry Young and William Reed.
And you can see these numbers here. Officer Terry Young in FY 2023 earned $194,290 total, given the base salary and the overtime. and then in FY 2024, that increased to $227,351, combining the base salary and the overtime. Officer Reed, for FY 2023, had a total earnings of $145,450, and in FY 2024, $192,732.
Jesus.
We thought it also important for you to know
Sheesh.
that Acting Chief Lacey has accumulated overtime. It's our understanding that he is not part of the collective bargaining unit and has not been for some time, which under normal circumstances would mean that he is not entitled to overtime. But as you can see here, for FY 22, FY 23, and FY 24, and we're now in fiscal year 2025, through those 4 years, he's accumulated $215,747,000 just in overtime. Now we're going to move, ladies and gentlemen, to unfunded expenditures. And this is really focused on, as we alluded to, we're going to move to unfunded expenditures. And this is really focused on checks that have been approved by the board from warrant lists that have come before the Board of Trustees, but held and not sent to the vendors. Based on the records that we have reviewed since March of 2023, the village has been unable to pay all of its monthly expenditures with available cash balance. Since that time, nearly every month, a portion of the checks approved and printed have been held by the village due to unavailability of funds. Per records from the John Kasperick firm, as of June 18, 2024, there are 589 checks totaling over $6 million that have been approved, printed, but not transmitted to vendors. And that is a big driver of the deficit in the general fund. This over $6 million in held checks, I want to caution, does not account for additional monies potentially owed by the village to vendors for which checks have not even been printed. These categories, which we are looking into, include, for example, invoices that have been received by village departments, but for one reason or another may not have been entered into the accounting system, which is called My Viewpoint. These invoices could have been entered into the accounting system, but not been approved by department heads or by the village administrator. And this could also include invoices that have not been approved by payment for the Board of Trustees. You're aware that from time to time, the warrant lists are presented. The trustees say, pay this, not pay that. Well, those checks that are on the warrant list roll over from time to time. And it probably makes sense just to explain really briefly. There is not a centralized repository for vendors to put their checks in electronically, or their invoices, I should say, so that it's automatically in the system. It has to be either hand-delivered or sent via email. It goes to the appropriate department head. Then it's up to that department head to approve and enter those invoices into the MyPoint system. And it depends upon the dollar amount of the invoice, who has final approval for those invoices to make it onto the warrant list. But that's the way the process works now. It will not surprise you that one of the recommendations that we will have when we finish our work is that the village invest in an automated system so that nothing falls between the cracks. The vendor will be able to see real time, where is my invoice moving through the system, and you'll know where it sits, either with the department head or otherwise.
All right, we'll turn now to discuss the cash status of the village. So the village has 22 different bank accounts. A majority of those bank accounts are designated for the special revenue funds or bond escrow funds. So the money in those bank accounts is restricted and shouldn't be used for day-to-day operations. I'll also note that these 22 accounts don't include the pension assets. The pension assets are held in separate trust accounts. Most of the village's expenditures each month are paid from one main operating bank account. As of June 30th, 2024, that bank account had a balance of $715,000. As of April 30th, 2021, that account had a balance of almost $1.5 million. So a decrease of over $750,000.
April 2024.
In addition to the main operating account, historically, the village has held its excess cash in an account known as Illinois funds. Illinois funds are interest-bearing accounts that are managed by the Illinois Treasurer's Office that allow municipalities to earn interest on their excess cash balance. The balance in the Illinois funds account as of June 30th was only $3,900. As of April 30th, 2021, that balance was over $2 million. So the balance of excess cash has dropped by over $2 million in that time period.
After 3 years of this shit, this will happen. This was a progression.
The monthly financial reports include a summary of the unrestricted cash balances of the village each month. Within these summaries, the balance reflected already accounts for those held checks that Mayor Lightfoot was just discussing, checks that have been issued but haven't cleared because they haven't been sent yet to vendors. What you can see on the chart is that the unrestricted cash balance of the general fund has dropped from almost $5 million as of April of 2022, and it is now accounting for all of the checks that have yet to be sent, is now in a deficit position of over $5.5 million as of May of 2024.
In 1 month? Oh.
We thought it was important to give you a little bit of insight into credit card use by village employees. We do not have complete information yet. It is our hope that we will get further cooperation and be able to have a complete picture of credit cards, but we wanted to share with you what we do know so far. We are aware that over this time period, from 2021 to the present, the village used 6 different credit cards at various points, from January 2021 through May of this year. 4 American Express cards that appear to have been used by various folks within the police department. The statements for these accounts were addressed to Ernest Mobley, Robert Collins, and Louis Lacey.
Mayor, may I interject there for a moment?
My God.
It was former Deputy Chief Mobley is present with us, and an amazing officer, so I'm certain there was no misuse or misconduct on that behalf. So I want to make sure I state that because he has been an exemplary officer.
Yeah, all we know is what we've seen in the paper so far. We have not interviewed any of these folks to get a better understanding of the specifics around credit card use. We have some knowledge of that, but we'll share that as part of the final report. There's 1 American Express card for which statements are addressed to Keith Freeman, the village administrator, and there was a 1 Fifth Third card which statements are addressed to the village. We've been told that that card is no longer in use. We understand from the records we've received from the Kasperick company and interviews that we've conducted that receipts for credit card purchases are rarely provided. Further, we understand that the credit card balance, because it comes due, of course, every month, we all know that, is paid as a matter of course. And it was reflected in the accounting records as miscellaneous police department expenditures. We're looking into what is the reason and rationale for that. But what this means is that these credit card bills that are paid do not appear on warrant lists and are therefore not presented to the board for approval. Again, that will be a recommendation that we make, and the board is obviously aware of this issue, which is in part why they took the action that they took the other day to rein in the credit card spending. We also understand from the Kasperic company that the only time a credit card charge would be reflected on a warrant list is if a receipt is provided. And as I've said, our information is that the receipts are rarely provided. We want to highlight a couple of credit card purchases.
Yeah, I told you, remember we went over this the other day? It was some
You're having the same
shit.
reaction that we did when we saw this.
Target, remember I kept telling y'all, Target, Walgreens, Best Buy, these are the ones that I talked about. Oh, we got more to talk about now.
So in particular,
What the fuck
we
is
were
this?
very concerned to see the top 3 purchases that were highlighted for you that were booked.
Sorry, y'all.
Booked on January 5th of 2023. That's roughly $40,000, a little more than that, in credit card purchases on Amazon in the same day. And our understanding is that the village does not have an Amazon account. These are somebody using one of the credit cards and charging these amounts using your tax dollars. We suspect we're going to see, as you can see, expenditures at Target, Walgreens, Best Buy, a number of charges that raise questions in our mind. Are these legitimate purchases using the credit cards?
Looking at some of the stuff I got.
What we've also found in the credit cards, I know that there's been a lot of interest in travel, and we are highlighting here on this slide some of the travel that is reflected in the village credit cards. Birmingham, Alabama, and Montgomery, Alabama in March of 2023 with 5 known travelers. Washington, D.C. in 2023 with 4 known travelers. Las Vegas, Nevada with 8 known travelers.
Okay.
Jackson, Mississippi in June of 2023 with 3 known travelers. Austin, Texas in July of 2023 with 3 known travelers. Portland, Oregon in July of 2023 with 4 travelers. Central and Southern Illinois in September of 2023. I think you're aware of what happened during that time. 10 hotel rooms booked during that travel. Traveled to New York City in October of 2023, 1 traveler. Atlanta, Georgia in November of 2023, 1 traveler on the village's credit cards. And I caveat that because we will and are continuing to look at, I'll say, cross-pollination between the village and the township and the credit card use there as well.
Yep, I got both. Yep, it sounds like it's in cross.
So let me summarize for you kind of what we presented, what we found so far regarding the finances. The general fund is used to pay the vast majority of the village's expenses. As you heard, as of May 31st of this year, the fund had a negative balance of $3.65 million. The village's general fund expenditures have exceeded revenues the past 2 fiscal years, ending April 30th, 2023 and April 30th, 2024. As of June 30th of this year, the cash on hand in unrestricted accounts is insufficient to cover the held checks valuing $6.1 million. We are in the current fiscal year of FY 2025, and the village has no budget that's been passed this year. The village's financial records have not been audited since FY 2021, and the village has not filed the mandated state annual reports since FY 2021. So where are we in terms of next steps? Regarding the financial information, there's a lot more work that we need to do. As I indicated, we've just recently got a lot of information in the door that is reflected for the most part in this presentation, but there are other things that we have asked for, and we're hoping that we're going to get further cooperation from the Kasperic accounting firm. Additional details regarding credit card spending and any receipts that might exist. Detailed accounting records and reconciliations, check registers, which is important. Detailed accounting of inter-fund transfers and balances. what we're seeing, and we need to really look at the detail here, is that there is a transfer from one fund, in some instances there's restricted funds, into another fund and vice versa. Additional detail, we're looking at what are the financial policies and practices in place and whether or not those need to be changed, updated, or beefed up in any way. We are continuing to look at what happened in Las Vegas. There are 2 trips, one in May of 2022 and a second in May of 2023. And as I alluded to earlier, the relationship and the intermingling of funds and personnel with Thornton Township is something we're very focused on as well. We defer to the trustees.
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank Mayor Lightfoot, her colleagues, as well as our legislative attorneys as well for the time and effort put into that. So again, I'll ask for a round of applause for the work that's been done. I'm going to defer to any of the board members, see if there's questions of the report that has been presented. Okay, I'm going to turn over to Trustee Norwood.
That was a lot to digest there.
Yes.
I just want for the residents that, because I know sometimes there are a lot of residents that still don't understand. For us trustees, our job is to oversee the finances. For the last 3 years, I know it looks as though there's been a lot of fighting, but we've been fighting for transparency so that things like this won't happen. We were locked out of my viewpoint maybe about a year or 2 ago. Once we did start sharing the receipts and the information with the residents, they stopped that, right? Police overtime. In the very beginning, we stated, hey, I wasn't even totally opposed to police detail of some sort, but what I stated was for how long and how many, right? That's important. And it was important because now they never gave us this information, and now we see that we're spending millions of dollars in overtime, and the only one really protected in Dalton is her, and it's not fair. Vendors, you all have heard me say for the last few years, bring RFPs in front of the board, bring RFPs in front of the board. It's extremely important that we have a process put in place so that as trustees, we can make the right decisions regarding vendors. We want these services to be provided to the residents. I want you all to know that we're never against you all receiving services, but we don't want to pay more. We don't want people receiving kickbacks and charging us way more for the services that the residents deserve. Hopefully, moving forward, we can get the mayor to work with us and provide some of this information. That's the hopes. But in the meantime, we'll continue to show up. We're going to continue to work with the residents. We're going to continue to get you the information, right? And Dawn, let's just hang in there. We're almost there. We're doing all the necessary steps in terms of a board, because we still want to try to work with this administration to the end. Our goal is still to attempt, no matter what, for the residents. So I just want you all to know that we want to work together. That's the goal. We are put here for checks and balances, and hopefully they can start bringing things in front of us. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're okay, I'm gonna get Bert and Lori, and then I'm gonna let you and Lori be here for your comments. Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. Trustee Belcher.
Yeah, I know it took everything in my soul to sit here and stomach this report. As we've been saying, and I'm gonna refer back to Trustee Norwood, Anybody that has watched the meetings, I said the checks that's sitting on the desk that ain't been cashed. Nobody has to come to a board meeting and tell a lie about anything.
See?
It's common sense. It's simple multiplication. When you have people emailing you every day about their invoices and payments. This goes as far back of June 9, 2022. It's sad. It's sickening. People came last month when we got our tax bills in an uproar about the tax. Can y'all imagine when we do take initiative to even start straightening this out, how our tax bill is going to look?
Yeah.
That $6.8 million did never come. And it was spent before deposited. It's simple math.
Yeah.
$6 million, $6.1 million in checks sitting somewhere. $40,000 at Amazon. What a slap in the face to everybody that reside in 60419 zip code. The meeting and Mayor Lightfoot, I'm so grateful for this information that you provided, because it takes somebody else to come in to show that we've been trying to stop this and we've been doing minimal damage. So could you have imagined if we just sat up there and approved everything that was going on?
Checked it all, right?
Because she gonna ride off in her BMW and we'll still be here stuck.
Message.
We have been financially raped.
Bankrupt.
And when people rape people, they get anything they deserve. I'm just gonna say what I've been saying for months and months and months. The bag been empty in 2022. The bag, it was never anything in the bag. And you still continue to say, they're lying, they're lying, they're lying. Here is proof for everyone to see, and even the ones who doubt us. If you don't see through this, it's nothing I can say to you. Even last week, sitting with Mayor Lightfoot, it's a punch in the gut. As the lady said from out of town, you've been hoodwinked, you've been bamboozled, led astray. All of that. And for a person to sit there and constantly lie. Every board meeting, I don't say much because I just can't see how the girl tell all them lies like that.
It's a lie.
It's unbelievable for a person to say that and for people to believe. So we thank God for Mayor Lightfoot's being here today, her presentation. Now, if this doesn't open up the eyes to these residents and let us know what as we say, the black jobs mean black vote. Everybody tell somebody. February of 2025, clean house. Clean house. You got to. This is just unbelievable. I mean, to even sit here, even though I said last week, it's a stomach ache. I've been punched all over tonight. It's ridiculous to see how our tax dollars have been recklessly spent by this young lady. So definitely give us time, residents. We're asking you to work with us. We're doing our very, very best. So definitely hang in there with us. And thank you all again for coming out tonight.
Y'all know we're gonna break this down, right?
Okay, I'm gonna also ask Attorney Alderson to comment on some of the work that he's been doing.
Love to hate me. No, it ain't gonna be too bad. But I'm gonna give my raw opinion about this.
So my takeaways from tonight and from what we have seen over the last 3 years that we have been legislative counsel for these trustees. Number one, the hiring of Mayor Lightfoot was not only smart, but incredibly necessary, as you've seen tonight. Her work is extraordinary and will continue to produce information for this board and for the public, which you need to know and the board needs to know in order to try to right the ship. Without her and her skill and her staff, we wouldn't be sitting here tonight with this information for you. There is a lot of work to do.
You see my face?
More financial discovery from Mayor Lightfoot, more layoffs and readjustment of personnel, leadership change at the police department,
Please.
stopping of harassment of employees, and for us, the lawyers, trying to work with the 40-plus lawsuits that have been filed against this village in the last 3 years. Our firm has not been paid for 3 years. Why? Because the mayor won't sign the checks in hopes of us leaving. She has a motion to fire us on every agenda and usually rails against us on every agenda. But I can tell you this, we're not leaving and we're staying with Dalton. I just ask as a human being, not as a lawyer, not as a politician, that the people of the village of Dalton stick with this board of trustees because they're heroic in and of themselves.
Help out there and calling out the bullshit on the public platform.
And I don't say that because there's an election coming. You'll get plenty of information on that. But I say that because we have hard months ahead. Knowing these finances, knowing what we just went through to get some insurance for the village, which was extraordinarily difficult and incredibly costly, we have a lot of work to do to right the ship, a lot. So I want to thank Mayor Lightfoot, who I've known for many years and admired for many years, and her staff. And I certainly want to thank the Mayor Pro Tem and the trustees and your wonderful clerk who works under difficult conditions. And who did get into the village hall today, even though the mayor changed the locks again for the third time to lock everybody out of the village hall, including the employees and the trustees that she didn't want in there. So we continue, every day there's something new. So I just want to thank you, Jason House, and the board and Mayor Lightfoot. Thank you.
Use his name.
I want to highlight one comment made by
Thank you.
Attorney Olson, Attorney McGrath. 3 years with no pay.
Pay who you owe.
3 years without pay. Not many, if any, other attorney would take on that walk with the board, with the residents of this community.
Thank you.
And it seemed that every turn as things were getting worse,
What she said.
Bert got more pissed. So I'll just jab at him and say, you heard what she say about you? But in all candidly speaking, there is, when we talk about partnerships and what it takes for us to try to get to an end. And I'm saying this because, as you see, we have a big hole. So we want to make sure that the partnerships continue because that's what's going to get us out of this hole as well. And I want to say thank you for the service that you guys have provided.
Light bothering me.
Okay, I want to turn over to Mayor Lightfoot for kind of her final comments. As the board has asked questions, we're going to pause to give them a moment to exit. The board is here to answer questions, but I'm also serious about this hourly rate that I don't want to make sure we spend frivolously.
It's the friends and family discount, I can assure you.
But we want to make sure all comments are heard and rightfully so. The board is here, and we'll make some comments on what our next steps and our plan is, and we're here to hear from the residents after that. But Mayor Lightfoot, please.
I just want to share a couple of final comments with you all. I know how I felt when I started seeing these numbers. So I can imagine how all of you are feeling after all this time being in the dark. And I just want to let you know this isn't just a job. This isn't just some task. We feel this. And so we have worked very, very diligently, very hard under difficult circumstances to get as much information as we could to share with you. You may hear a number of things in the coming days, but what I can assure you is the information that we have shared, that we're putting our names on, is drawn directly from the financial records of this village. We wouldn't be here sharing this information, advising the trustees and talking with legislative council if we didn't have confidence in the numbers. There are a number of other things we know, but we aren't ready yet. We got to verify them 20 ways from Sunday. But this, if you hear this is fake news, it's not real, no. This is real. The last thing I'll say is we figured that folks would probably want to take a little time to study these numbers in a little more detail. We have 100 copies of this deck that we will leave, paper copies. So after the meeting is over, you can feel free to come get them, first come, first serve. Don't worry, media, we've already shared the electronic copies with you all, so you should have that. But again, thank you for showing up for yourselves and for your families and for your community.
Mad at me?
Okay. I'm going to pause briefly to give Mayor Lightfoot and our attorneys a moment to exit, and then we're going to make some final comments from the board in terms of next steps, and then we will open for citizens' address.
I took pictures of all the PowerPoints she shared. So I don't got the document. Let's see if they're going to ask some questions. And we're going to go over it in detail. You know how I did. I take quick notes. Baby, I'm used to this. So we're going to work our way backwards. And I guess but if they're going to talk, I'm just going to give a little commentary. Shout out to Lori Lightfoot, okay, and what she has brought to this fight. I will say that the information brought forward, I have to give more credit to the CPA because he, as she mentioned, and this is the truth, I know y'all be like, there, here she go. No, Lori Lightfoot did her thing by subpoenaing this, keep asking for it, and it's so amazing that the CPA will share it with her versus the FBI. I'm not saying that they didn't share with the FBI. We were a little bit concerned about the meeting before last month. I'm just keeping it real where Henyard locked the CPA out. Now we understand why. Let's see if they're going to talk or add something to this, but we're just going to keep watching it while I talk. Now we see why Henyard went on to lock the CP out, because this was probably the time where he was already starting to disclose information. Because as we went into other videos, when we talked about the Camilla situation as a protester, it's like they leave it. Look at Robert. Oh, Robert, I love you. Don't be mad at Grace. Levi, just look at me like the Dalton trustees. I'm calling shit out in the public. Y'all ain't mad at them. Don't be mad at me. Anyway, they've been fighting for the truth to come out. Y'all ain't believe, some of them didn't believe them until y'all start feeling the repercussions, but that's something different. Anyway, Lori Lightfoot, I would say that I believe that this information, as she mentioned, it came from the CPA. Shout out to the CPA. Now we understand why the CPA was allegedly locked out. They may have been turning on Henyard and her goons, and she knew it. So that makes sense. Most of the presentation was based on the financial reports. And I am amazed at that. I love it. I'm glad that this man has came forth to do so because, as I was about to say, in the other case that we watched with Camilla, basically what it was, I'm just muting this because obviously no more questions is going to happen. With Camilla case, she was trying to establish a conspiracy. Okay, conspiracy is not only done by intentional actions, but actions that collude to, defile one person or a group of people. So the CPA probably like, hell to the no. I'm not about to get in trouble with her ass. Let me release these papers. This is kind of what I'm looking at. This is kind of how I'm looking at it. So we do have a series of those PowerPoints. Now, I don't think they're gonna answer any more questions. So I'm just gonna pull us off the screen until I see they're gonna answer some questions. I don't think so. I think it's pretty much wrapping up. But with that goes to say, it was significant about the information she brought up. I have each, you see, I'm not about to be locked out. I have each picture of each PowerPoint that she done did, and we're gonna go over it in detail. I'm gonna pick just a few of them to go over to kind of highlight the commentary for tonight. But my goal actually for Monday and Tuesday was to go over the credit card statements that they're talking about. They are uploaded in Dalton Politics. There are things floating around, so it's easy to get this. There was a slew of posts that happened in June. Somebody was just capping, just pulling it all out because I guess they got to the point that they were tired of people being politically correct, people not seeing who Henyard really was, and they said, fuck it. And guess what? At that time, a lot of people thought they was bugging, that they doing it for political reasons, but that was out there. So I have that particular information. So let's get to it. Clean house. So in my perspective, clean house to me, what he's trying to do is clean house, meaning get rid of all of these bad actors that they did not have active contract that was approved by the trustees, and then figure out what's going on. One of the things, and I have to cross them out as I see it, and this was good because the CPA provided all of this. Let's kind of go down it. All right, so the new board, some questions about the presentation. Hold on, end of the year. Okay, to the company. Okay, so they were talking about the towing companies, and people were inquiring about the towing companies and who were their connections to, and was basically it was some nepotism going on, that they was her people. Obviously, what I said, what CPA? Did I say something different? Did I mix the letters up? The CPA? Yeah, I don't think so. Sometimes I do that when I'm a little tired. It was a lot of stuff going on today. So basically, what they noticed by way of you, the people who complained, who spoke up, you were complaining about the fees and the fines and how much. I'm trying to see if my because this light is killing me. I have to do some UV protection sometime. If it start bothering me, I put my glasses back on. That made them aware, or even I guess the trustees aware that people were being feed and fine inconsistently with these companies, which probably made them go in and say, hey, we're going to look at this, because one of the key things that Lightfoot said is basically they're looking into policies that may allow her to do this, and policies that makes this basically the process loose. As you guys have noticed, the trustees have tightened up in the last 3 months. I'm just being honest. Before this, it was a lot of arguing and bickering and putting the information out. They were calling things out. People didn't like Belcher. People didn't like Kiana. So afterwards, where they were suffering, when I look at the meetings in 2021, a lot of people were capping for Henyard. Tell me I'm lying. They were capping for Henyard. And I was surprised, and I really didn't want to put all of that up there. I was like, damn, but it was a remarkable change in 2023 because the people started suffering from her behavior. So they've been calling her out. And then, like I said, the trustees was using the tactic of bringing these things to the forefront in front of you guys. And it's looking like mess, arguing, hating, bullshit. But they kept doing it until people got the hint, and people started to be basically exposed to it, have repercussions from it, and the reality started hitting the fan. This is what I'm seeing with the trustees. That's why I was like, damn, that's a hard position to be into, because if these people looking at this person like a god and they doing right and look at all the parties, look how fun this is, and you're like, no, the money is being spent right, people are not getting paid properly, contracts are not being negotiated right. She like, fuck them. Excuse my language. This is her perspective. I'm the boss. You follow my vision. She said this consistently. And you have a team, you have a board behind you that in Pacific Place with different knowledge that's supposed to help you along the way. I saw that that's what lost them. So I have to give it to the trustees in that particular aspect. But what I will say is that now you're hitting her with the fixer-upper. I was excited to hear about, not only does you have to have the clerk to even apply for a loan. Now, what did they say? You need 2 signatures on checks for mayors. Okay, so 1, they put this check and balance. 1, you're not going to hold up any more money. If it's approved by the board, these people are getting paid because those were the people that was approved. So she possibly was holding the money that's being approved and paying the vendors that she wanted to keep her political ties good and the people she put in place good, allegedly. That's what I'm thinking. And that's why they put this ordinance in, just in case the mayor will not sign the checks. So that was great. Also, that the checks will also be immediately sent out. Who knew about all of this but the CPA? That's why he's actually the superhero, but he still was hiding that shit for mad long. I'm just being honest. And we got to talk about this. It's really great. And I do feel like what Lori Lightfoot said, where she said she's looking at the policies again, that has prompted the trustees to fix this shit. Some of this ain't right. It's too many loopholes. It's too much happening. As we go on, they're looking into, they talked about these trips. We'll go into that in detail. You already know that's something that she's just been spending crazily. All those people who've been on those trips with her, they're on the list. They're possibly on the list and they're being investigated. You got to understand that there's a narrative behind some of these people. Some of these people don't want to be affiliated with her. Some of these bad actors that are playing victim, they were in collude with her at one point. And that's why when I used to cap for certain people, it used to be people in my audience like, you don't know what they did. They chose to, like, they've been mad because they saw the transition. And that was some of the things I did not know in the original. But as I, originally coming to the fight, because I was so green and so excited. But as I started doing my research and then I talked to people down different residents who filled in holes about stuff, it made more sense that the corruption was far and beyond, and it may not just stop with Henyard. That's why I say, even with a person like Keith Freeman, how would it be any suggestion that anyone would take his word as born? He's been playing her side, holding things against the people, not being transparent. He's not the one that really released this, possibly. It's the CPA. So, the board did mention that something was forward to them from Freeman. This is made what's been forward. You see what I'm saying? People don't want to be involved in a conspiracy, which leads to RICO. RICO is based on conspiracy. The words that y'all hate, but it's true. People conspire to do something against the people. So she went into the government funds, property funds, fiduciary funds. We're going to go into that a little bit in detail, but we do know that she said the general funds is the ones that's literally $6 million in debt. Exactly what the trustee said. I mean, I think Judge Petty did something about the time when Henyard started spending the money she didn't have, and they were trying to basically make her know the money's not here. Wait till it comes. I remember that clip. I think it was in one of mine, but I definitely think Judge Petty did a deep dive into that. But it's been their concern that grants has to come in. You have to abide by them. They need to be spent right, and you can't just spend them. I'm like, yo, when they had said, when Kiana was like in the argument yesterday or the other day, you don't even live out here in Dalton. I will believe she don't. You spend $30,000 at Amazon. What fucking house in Dalton is that going to? No disrespect, Dalton. Y'all have cute little houses, things like that. But she's living a lap of luxury. It probably won't even fit in those houses how much she shopped. So I truly believe she probably don't live in Dalton, which is against her position. So let me see if I could put anything up here for y'all. Let me put it on a glass. Let me see if I could I'm about to open some stuff and see which which PowerPoint I want to play. The reason why I'm hesitant is because I want to go into each one of them in detail, because I was just snapshot. Let me see what this one is. This is the Amazon. Let me start pulling this shit up. Let me start playing with y'all. Okay, we go into this just a little bit. I don't need y'all give me the PDF. I am the media. I will figure this motherfucker out by myself. Y'all know I'm different. We're gonna evaluate. I hope I'm pulling all of these up. I'm trying to pull them up one at a time to see if I could show y'all. God be the glory. God be the glory. Don't trying to make sure it don't erase on me. I'm clicking a lot of stuff at once. Pray that it don't slow down. Now, let's get to it, baby. All of these damn things. Okay, this is the first one. That's a lot. Okay. This was the first one. Okay, y'all see that? Yeah, I remember me showing y'all or talking to y'all about the credit card use, and I was saying Dunkin' Donuts, $199, $299, $399. This is a good figure to even show this $33,000. I can show you in detail where it looked like possibly one of those three officers or two of those officers was using this credit card to their liking. They highlighted that it was Lacey. Hold on, because I had to put this because I love that Valerie said this. Valerie said this. She said it. It was very, that's why I love you, Valerie. I think that's why you fuck with me, because we say the right thing. I love Jason, but specifically when someone named the other officer involved, he kind of capped for the officer. That I don't think that was totally a good idea, because again, he said they haven't got details about that. It says this, hold on, let me see. They haven't got details about that particular situation. There was when they talked about the credit cards, the 22 bank accounts, they went in talking about, this is when I highlighted that house cap for either Ernstine, I think that was the name, because the three names was Ernstine, Robert Collins, and Lacey Lewis. And those were the people who had their name on a credit card that Lori Lightfoot talked about. And maybe they didn't know that was going to come out. That's why he was like, no, he's a good guy. I don't want you to think that. So slow down, house. Just like Valerie said, and I thought the same thing. Don't jump out the window for people. Don't be like Grace Levi and then you be the bad guy. Just wait and see what they pull up, because someone could be one person in your face and then different. So slow down. That was one thing that we had acknowledged together. So now, so we got 6 million. Also, what did they say? 6 million they said also, let me see, can I find it? 6 million in unfunded expenditures. 6 million. That's not the unfunded expenditures. She said was not included in the ones that didn't possibly was uploaded on invoices. These were bills that were sent to them. And she said they were supposed to be uploaded in my viewpoint. So I think, I'm not blowing it up, I think it's a little bit revenue. Oh, let me get it. I think it's more than the $6 million. Okay, she said, let me pull it up. Unfunded expenditure. Let me see, can I find a PowerPoint? General funds. Increase expenditures. Police department. Increase expenditure. Police department. Lacey overtime. Unfunded expenditures. This is different. Y'all see how I pay attention to shit? I was like, whoa, this is fucked. Now let's highlight this. Unfunded expenditures. If you look at that, and I'll put it all on the screen, this is as per the CPA records as of June 18, 2021. There are 589 total outstanding checks. That's what it is. Over 6 million that have been approved and printed, but not sent out. That is different from the amount that's reflect in the negative. That's what I believe. We're going to go more in detail. This 6 million don't only they would have said a half of this, like 3 million of the 6 million that they said that the general funds is in defect is related to these checks. They said 6 million is related to the check. You see how I pay attention to details? Think about it. They said 6 million was in a negative, but they didn't say specifically related to these checks. They put this on a separate PowerPoint to highlight that this is a separate amount of unpaid monies. So we got to keep that in mind. And that is really scary. Shout out to the CPA. But about fucking time, you should have did this 2 years ago, sir. Just like they said, well, here you go. My people be thinking. We ask the hard questions that make people uncomfortable. No state audit. All questions of what the reports are since 2001 is telling. I know you've been asking and asking, but at the end of the day, how did it just come out now? This should have been pushed 2 years ago. No cap. Don't be mad. I gotta say it. I'm gonna do a video on the credit cards. They brought this situation up about the credit cards about a year ago, about the credit card issue and trying to stop her from spending. But what I think about is, okay, now you're putting a policy in place right now. And I'm going to pull up Henyard right before election. I'm glad that y'all are right and y'all wrong, because that's why people feel away, because everybody's not perfect. But if you're ready to repent and do better, we see it. The trustees are not perfect. When I said repent for what you did and what you owe, why would they think I was talking about Jedediah when I wasn't? And they're trying to repent for what they did and what they owe. That's how repenting happens. You do people dirty in the public, you fix it in the public. And that's what I think the trustees are trying to do. No, they're not perfect. And when I said tell the people what you did or fix it, I'm not saying I'm making them do that, but the soul talks. Because this is time of exposure. And the only way that you're going to be able to be on top, if that's what you want, or at least be righteous in God's eyes, is to repent in front of everybody and fix it in front of everybody. I repent. I mean, as far as just me doing what I did, I know what I did wrong. It shouldn't have been televised. Okay. But repent, do it better. But I regret it? No. Do they regret what they've been doing? Hell no. They're getting the end result. I'm still making comparisons. If y'all want to make it make sense so y'all can understand, because people are a little weird. Okay, so the clean house, they're cleaning out contracts. Let me see what else notes I want to get into, because we're going to start wrapping this up. The accountant, I'll keep talking about the accountant firm. They did good. May 30th, 2024. The net defect. Do y'all want to see that again? Do y'all want me to put up more of these PowerPoints? Oh, this is what was really fucking alarming to me. And I had to put thick leg ass Lacey up. Tell him I said it. I don't care. Because the people support him. You think they happy with what I say about him? Hell no. Look, even after they started arguing about how much Henyard was spending, hold up. This is the settlements. Hold up. This is the settlements. Wait, there's another one with the overtime. Let me put the overtime up there. Hold on, babes. Let me find it. Increase expenditures. God. There we go. This is ridiculous. Even after the trustees started putting this out there and telling people how much she was spending on security, she still kept on. Look at this. Do y'all see this still increased? Talk about weirdo. Wow. Rock out with your cock out. Henyard. Look at that. This 2024, this is police department expenditures have increased approximately 21%. Every year it still went up. What the fuck was they still doing? Like, this is how rocking out with her cock out she was doing, even with them yelling and arguing. That's why I got to a point that I had said in my videos, and I've been saying it, y'all gotta change policies, y'all gotta switch it up, y'all gotta use your time wisely. Arguing is one thing, getting people to know the facts so the feds can see what it is, but I'm not playing. I know that's why I'm censored. Why? Well, I'm not. I know why people try to separate from me, because I put pressure on you to do better. And I don't hate you. I've been putting pressure on the trustees. Everything, like I mentioned, they talked about in their other list from the other night was the things I brought up. Y'all can look at the title of my videos and tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. So this continued to happen right in front of our face. So I will hope, this is going to say to me that I hope, and this was one of the things that I found in a defect in Lori Lightfoot report, not only the expenditures of the police, but what the fuck is the police doing to cause the liability? And let's get back to that liability. Overtime, that's overtime. The liability, but I'll tell you, I need that paper. I got overtime, insurance liability. I don't need to buy some of these shit. I was like, fuck it, take some pictures right now, right now, right now. Let's just go into this a little bit. Let's look at the numbers. Why this is what we should be talking about as well, what I found as a defect. And I will hope this is addressed, because this is directly related to the Carver Wilson case, Alexis Wilson, to the Darius Wilson case, to the number of people who've been harmed or defiled or treated like shit. The Carmel case where she got arrested, Carmela. This right here shows it's a problem. The liability claims has went up from 2022 to 2024. It was $1 million, $1.1 million, if you right there, in 2022. That was after Alexis Wilson situation. 2023, it still continued to creep up. It didn't go down. Lacey wasn't doing things correctly. The officers wasn't being told they wasn't doing things right. You already see most of them, well, the ones that some of them that she brought in wasn't qualified. I eat thick leg Lacey too. This is something that I think Lightfoot should have brought to the attention and say that it is the severe defect in the police accountability, the police procedures, and that's causing increase. Most of these damn lawsuit has Lacey name in it, directly related to the police department. Am I not tripping? If it is involved in intimidation, freedom, First Amendment, the First Amendment, the Constitution, freedom of speech, or unlawfully chasing people, fucking doing wild shit, I don't even know why he ain't getting no charges for that. That ain't no game. But I understand why that person didn't pursue a lawsuit, because most of these people who did pursue a lawsuit is called putting that on the back of Dalton. So I have to give it to that person who suffered from Lacey, thick leg Lacey shit. Oh, damn. Let me put the thing more bigger so y'all can see it. I have my big ass head up there. I'm sorry. Look at the numbers. Here you go. It went from 1 million and all the way in 2024, it went to $3.2 million in liability insurance. That is my idea. I think is directly related to him and her. Him, her, him, her. Okay. So legal fees, my telephone. Why the hell is that up there? That's weird. Let me find out she bought a bunch of cell phones. They probably put that there like, this is weird. You remember what I kept talking about, the computer thing? Maybe they could find out why is there so money being spent through the computer thing. Oh, no, matter of fact, that was Thornton. That's what she was buying. It seemed like every department had computer tech. Oh, wait, that made me think of something, y'all. Wait. Now, this is one of the things I was told down there. I was told that allegedly Keith Freeman owns a AI company, a technology company. I had to write that down. I was told that by one of the residents, and then it clicked in my head. That made sense, because she's been controlling all of the platforms as far as the website. They said disconnecting the email, blocking shit, technology wise. Don't you think that's probably connected to that sucker? Or maybe I'm overthinking. So y'all should we trust Keith Freeman now that he's allegedly turning? I'm just saying. That was the same thing that I found out about certain individuals, and y'all want me to get messy. Shut up, I won't. But somebody on that team owns a telemarketing company or did at one point. And I had a resident, y'all don't like it. That's why they try to censor me. I ain't saying the person's name. You figure that out. That's why the Dalton resident said to me, she has a telecommunication going, like he said a call center at the bottom of Village Hall calling people. And then when I found out about someone owning a call center, I was like, something to think about, y'all. That's why y'all don't just cap for everything. Just like Miss Valerie said, wait, don't go jump out the window. Just make sure that you listen to everything. Do as much investigation as you can. All right, so let's go on. I'm about to almost finish this. Shout out to the CPA again. Only thing that I really felt like this report was lacking, because she kind of put pressure on the adults and trustees by saying they're looking at policies that allow this to happen. That's my synopsis. I feel like the adults and trustees are trying to fix and right their wrongs, and they may have not thought it was wrongs at the time. But now they see how much it has affected and they blocking her. And I think that's related to what Lori Lightfoot saying, looking at the policies. So Lori Lightfoot is saying it, and we're trying to look at everything, but she didn't say, oh, this policy is wrong, this policy is wrong, as much detail as she did with the finance. So it's fine that they're up there trying to fix things. I found a lack because you gave a half a report about the police station. This man, and now even though he's passive aggressive and was, this man, these people, not them, I didn't mean to put them, I meant to put his bucket head right in the middle. And these people right here are dangerous to the community. It can be a loss of finance, but there has been loss of life. There's been loss of freedom of speech. There's been loss of people feeling comfortable in their own town and even being able to speak, because these individuals has been used as a point of aggression against these individuals. And also, do I got a picture of the residents of Dalton up here? No, but the residents of Dalton. Let me just take that off. I don't got a picture of Dalton right now, but let me remove this and say this represents the residents of Dalton. You did a great job, Miss Lori Lightfoot, with getting the CPA to get you the information. Great job. Continue to fight a good fight. There's more to handle and there's more to correct. To the trustees and the people who don't listen to me, please fix your police department, fix the corruption. Your cops are killing people. It is dangerous. These cops are jumping from place to place, taking people's lives and altering them, such as I still consider her my third daughter, and the love I have for Miss Cara will never change. We may not think the same, but Miss Carver, I'm going to fight to the end. I'm going to go down with a fight, especially if I love someone and they're honorable. And that's why I have focused a lot of my content on the police brutality, the things that's been going on, highlighting these cases, because that's what I like to do. I like to read cases. I like to look at numbers, and I like to call out the shit with bad police. I don't have a problem. I could tell y'all some history. Y'all want me to tell a story when I got locked up? When I was younger in nursing school, we're going to go off with this. I always got a story. This is how I got locked up when I was in nursing school. So I was going to dance class on a Saturday, okay, in Newark, in the hood. There was a cop at the green light as I was approaching. So I went behind him. He's standing there. The fucking light turned red. Then it turned green again. He's standing there. I noticed he's doing paperwork. I go around him, not on even the double lines, but around him. And it's not a double lines because the street is real skinny. He comes behind me, boop, 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 boop. I'm a whole nursing student about to go to dance class, modern dance class. And he's like, ma'am, pull over. He got on a bullhorn, pull over, pull over. I said, what the fuck did I do? Like, yo, he weird. He came behind me. Do you know that I was, no, did you know? I don't know what no, no, matter of fact, that's a lie. He said license registration. And I said, sir, why are you pulling me over for? License and registration. I asked you for license and registration. I said, no, you need to tell me what you pulled me over for. Literally, you were in the middle of the street. I waited. The light turned red, then turned green. I went around you, and now you pulled me the fuck over. Why did you pull me over? Let me get your license and registration. This, that, and I started going back and forth with him. This is why my uncle was mad at me and embarrassed. I only embarrass y'all people who a little embarrassed about me. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna keep it real. He was a little embarrassed. So I love my uncle. God rest his soul. So I'm like, listen, you don't have no reason to pull me over. What is your reason? He arguing back for, give me your stuff, man. Give me your stuff. I said, sir, let me let you know something. And I was mad because he was Caucasian, not respecting. And no, I tell you how I feel about white people. It's not about the soul, but it's about the person. But I had to get on his ass. I said, first and foremost, you think that you're empowered because you're in our community and you're not from our fucking community. You don't give a fuck about us. Literally, you sat in the middle of the street obstructing where I was going and have the nerve to think that you're going to pull me the fuck over. What type of shit you want? What do you mean? Da-da-da. He going back and forth with me. Now his partner is walking up now and I'm going off and I'm like, you know what? F you. You're mad because I'm the mother of the earth, the black original. Don't be mad at me, y'all. Y'all know everything turned black is black. It's the truth. And I birthed you, motherfucker. I was mad. Get out the car. No matter of fact, he didn't make me get out the car. He left because his coworker or whatever, kind of, I don't know what they did. He gave me 2 tickets. It was one without a seatbelt and one for passing over a line. I said, yo, you a fucking liar. I got my seatbelt. I did not pass over a line. I was so pissed off. I still started cursing him out. So I pull off before him. He got in the car, gave my license back. I got my fucking ticket. I pull off straight. And I go to make a left. I always got some stories, the reason why I act the way I do. I made a left. We literally in the hood. We in number streets with it. Gangbangers, bang, bang, bang. Everybody out there Saturday morning just acting like a fool. It's 11 o'clock. He pulled right behind me again. I made the left and I was being such an asshole. I put my left blinker on and I put my hand out the window like a motherfucker. I was being a dick. Because when you put your hand out the window, you put it straight, that means you're making a left. He came behind me, boop, 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 boop. I said, oh, fuck no, he want problems. This is the problem. Get out of the car. Get out of the car right now. I rolled down my window and it was, thank God I pulled onto a street. I couldn't believe it's 11 o'clock in the morning with so many people outside on a Saturday. It was a nice day. I'm like, guys, I need y'all help. This off, because they started looking like, what the fuck is going on? The officer pulled up right on their block, like, get out of the car. So they about to say, look, this shit about to be the New Jersey Drive. They probably thinking I'm a stolen car or something. It's going to be a shootout. And I'm like, roll down my window. I said, I need help, y'all. I said, I am a nursing student going to dance class. This motherfucker pulled me over around the corner. And now he pulling me over again. I have 2 tickets. I did not do anything. And I'm scared for my fucking life at this point. He didn't even come out the car the second time. And he's telling me to get out. Guys, I need your help. He gets out the car. Everybody get out of here. Move. Nobody get out of here. Get out of here. I said, if he locked me up, I need y'all to call my mother. Call my mother, because if I disappear and not come from dance class, she going to be pissed off because it's her Saturday. She got my kids and then they not going to know where I'm at. They like, shorty, give me your number. Shorty, give me. I'm yelling my number out. Somebody wrote my number down, called my peoples. They took me down to the police station. I don't even think they towed my car. I think they left it out because I don't remember having to pay for tow. They took me down to the police station, try to lock me up for disorderly conduct. Yeah. Talking about what's your name, where you from, give me a number. I wouldn't give them shit. I said, fuck you. I'm not giving you nothing. I'll rot in here. Kiss my ass. All y'all could go to hell. I was pissed. And guess who showed up down there? My uncle. He was so upset because I'm such a rebel. Because he conformed. He the Fed type. So he had to play the role with them, like, yeah, guys, that's my niece, her mouth, she always get in trouble for her mouth, just talking to him. And the guy told him, I didn't want to lock her up, but she kept talking. Not the fact that I was really disorderly, because if I was the first time, you should have locked me up the first time, not let me go and pull me over like you was about to shoot me. It took 7 months for me to go back and forth with that cop to court. Every time I showed up to court, the cop did not show up. I was in between, like, the ticket was one thing. I said, I paid two of the tickets. I paid one of the tickets, and one of the tickets was dismissed. I plea bargained with them. I'm a nursing student. I got 2 cases right now. One is physically disorderly conduct, and the other one is the 2 tickets. So I would be going back and forth because he wasn't showing up. He wasn't showing up for none of them. So I ended up plea bargaining because the judge would not dismiss both tickets. So one of the tickets I got off, paid, and then, like, 3 months after that ticket situation was done, because he never showed up, he finally showed up for, like, the 5th hearing. Finally, him and his partner. This is 7 months past the situation. If God don't be the glory for a liar and the judge being real, she said, listen, I need you, because this is in front of all the court. Traffic court is different than what's out this front. Well, I guess in front of all the court. She said, I'm going to have the officers not be in here, and you're going to tell your story. And then you're going to go out, and he's going to tell his story. Cool. I tell my story exactly how it is. I tell them that I went around them, how they were standing there, what I said, how I got disrespectful, how if I was disorderly that they should have locked me up the first time instead of letting me go and look like I was about to be held at gunpoint. That's why the people called my mother, and my mother called my uncle, and my uncle like, fuck, fucking mouth. I'm sorry, uncle. I ain't sorry. I love you though. So when it was time for the officers to go in, what they end up doing, both of them end up telling 2 different stories because they were told different at different times. The one that I was going back and forth with, he literally lied. He said that it was during the week, during school hours, I went over the left lane and I was reckless driving, but he saved me from not getting that ticket. The second officer told the same fucking story that I told, and how he tried to de-escalate it by pulling the other officer off, like, just to give me a ticket and let me go. And basically, he didn't know that it was going to be to that second part. When they brung me back into the court, the judge dismissed my first disorderly conduct charge in Newark, New Jersey. So this is only one incident about me being treated like fucked upness from crooked police. They're not all crooked and fucked up. But the ones that are, I'm going to scream from the mountaintop, or the people who are, I'm going to try not to scream from the mountaintop if it affects other people I love. I roll my eyes. I love y'all, but I'm just mad because I want to speak my piece. I want to protect people from the bad guys. You may not think he got family who love him. He thought that he was okay. That nigga was on leave for 6 months in between what he did to me to when he showed up. That's why he wasn't showing up for court. Literally going through mental shit. Keep playing around because people got a badge. People say things nice, politically correct. People could say specific, and I can't, that they are okay. It's about the heart. It's about being transparent, and it's about repentance. At the end of the day, I feel like the trustees, these people right here, and this is my last, are trying to repent and fix some of their wrongs. And I don't know if it was intentionally or just going with the flow, like most people did with all of these mayors, people who are important, but now they see that you can't. And screaming from the mountaintop in public about something that's going on is not always bad. Let's go to the question. Oh, we know you have been drawing up charts, Lady Grace. Yes. So you see what I just presented to you on Monday or Tuesday. We're going to do the full breakdown of Thornton versus Dalton finances. We just going to compare and contrast. I know it's going to be a hard cookie to crumble, but I'm gonna try to come up with some good ideas like I always do. I try because I'm such a cornball. Let's do this. Let's try this. Let's do this. People always stealing my ideas and shit. I'm like, fuck it, just do it. Save the fucking people. So I hope I can come up with more ideas. I pray again that the influence that I have is actually working because as I talked about, Valerie, you've been here. You know the things I've been talking about literally came all up that warrant list. All of that warrant list, Valerie. That's why you like, fuck it, I'm in a hard place, but I'm gonna ride with Grace because you know my heart is right in the right place. I'm not perfect. Like everybody's like, I'm not perfect. But I'm about to ride for truth and justice. It may look ugly. It may not look like how you want it to, but I think it's sure enough worth it. So I'm gonna let y'all go. I love you. It's 9 o'clock. I didn't eat all day. Shit been really messy. Gonna be real pain in the village for a while. Yup. And get her kickbacks. The CPA is on the tape. The CPA do not want to go to jail. He ain't going to jail. Plus 7K at Wayfair. We're gonna find that. Allegedly, Wayfair is demonic. Let me stop. Y'all like that? Go that conspiracy. Y'all remember Wayfair was connected to those expensive things that wasn't supposed to be expensive, and they were lying. I'm not gonna say lying. I don't know. They were saying that was connected to girls that was being sold. I'm trying to say it right. That's what they were saying. Wayfair is. Go look up, Google Wayfair scandal or Wayfair girl. Like things for sale on YouTube, and you're gonna see what they say about Wayfair. It's like demonic. There's nothing in me that would have me think that Tiffany cooperated on any level, no matter what the trustees requested. Nope, it's the CPA that's breaking the seal. The CPA is breaking the seal. That's the friends and family plan. I think we know what's causing that. Yep, it is the CPA and the trustees doing things to block her. They're putting in those laws and coordinates. I know that's why when I say I got a credit card video that I'm gonna put. They mentioned this before, but they never put these ordinance in. They probably ain't gonna like that video. I already told you the concept, but it's true. I don't know, but they doing good now. Whatever. I told you people could repent. Just do it in front of everybody because you fucked up everybody out there. Well, I'm not saying it like that, but y'all know how I am. Grace, can I swear on the channel? I just want to say something to somebody in Dalton. Go ahead. Say what you want to say. Say what you want to say. I mean, is it critical? Is it? I don't know. I can't judge y'all asses. I'll be fucking just saying shit, making people uncomfortable. Whole damn live arguing. That was ridiculous. But I think it was well worth it. I do. I pray that people change their hearts and do different and don't have that Tiffany Henyard spirit. Tiffany Henyard got the Leviticus spirit. She ain't shit. Grace Levi, I just going to say anyway. So one moment, please. What you about to say? What's your comment, boo? Typo, best not show your ass at the Dalton meeting. Lacey, like, I ain't quit, motherfuckers. No, we got to go off on that note, Jarvis. Thank you. This fat, thick leg, buckethead Lacey better not show up. And I'm going to go off on this note. You know, I've been playing some rebel music. I'm putting this because I want you guys to listen to what he's saying. Let's stop fighting. Let's let us be free. There's a them us in every single arena, and we don't need that. Damn, I'm over here liking the song. I forgot to play the next one, y'all. I'm about to get up out of here.
I could not be here breathing and be comfortable if I was really as bad as they was making it. You know, nobody could be around me. So for me to be this calm, I must have some kind of inner peace. And my inner peace is knowing that once everybody take the time to really see what type of person I am, you'd be surprised that I stuck around this long. I have to make the...
Why are you detaining me? You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job because you are detaining me for nothing. You about to lose your job. You about to